Let me just bring this thing up. This device, we'll call it. Robotics firm equips robo dog with night vision sniper rifle. Feel safer yet? I mean, this is nuts. So this is what it says. A robotics firm and a gun manufacturer have joined forces to produce what amounts to be an animatronic dog with a sniper rifle for a face, managing to terrify more than a few netizens after unveiling the new device at an Army Expo. Check this out. Dubbed Spur, or the Special Purpose Unmanned Rifle, the robotic canine packs a gun where its head should be, chambered for 6.5 millimeter Creedmoor rounds. Ouch! As was first reported by The Drive. The system was developed by rifle producer Sword International and Ghost Robotics, a Philadelphia-based firm founded in 2015 and made its first ever appearance this week at the main annual convention for the Association of the U.S. Army in the nation's capital. While the companies have offered few details about the configuration of the gun mounted atop the robot, yeah, like they would, they say Spur can load and fire rounds remotely as well as clear jams, and is also capable of using the much more common 7.62x51 NATO cartridge in addition to the 6.5mm Creedmoor. Ghost Robotics, which produces a variety of quadrupedal unmanned ground vehicles, or QUGVs, claims Spur has a firing range of 1,200 meters, or just shy of 4,000 feet. To see, the device uses a Teledyne FLIR, let me repeat that, a Teledyne FLIR Boston thermal camera with 30 times optical zoom, capable of night vision, according to New Atlas. I'm feeling so much safer. The U.S. Air Force has adopted one of the Ghost robo-dogs at its Tyndall Airfield in Florida, though the particular model does not boast Spur's lethality, instead offering an extra set of eyes and ears during patrols on the base, and I've heard about that. Ghost is far from the first company to roll out some form of robo-dog, but much like the reaction to Boston Dynamics' infamous Spot robot and numerous other iterations of the concept over the years, many observers online saw Spur as a step too far, taking what was already an unnerving invention and attaching a gun to its head, which one user described as a crazy-looking Terminator shit. Each day closer to Black Mirror, another commenter said, referring to an episode of the sci-fi series featuring a similar dog-like killing machine. The robotics firm has unveiled other new QUGV models this week, including one version sporting a Lockheed Martin quadcopter drone on its back. Keeping with the trend of robotic dogs on the internet, however, Twitter users were no less disturbed, also finding the drone model disconcerting. So yeah, I mean, I talk about how this battlefield is different. I talk about if folks that want to be independent expect to get by, they're going to have to use a lot more of this than of this. Okay? It's not the same battlefield. Not even remotely. And I didn't intend to pun there or anything like that. But it's not even close. And folks need to understand that. There's also something else that I want to point out about your wonderful, loving government. And this goes for a lot of governments. I'm not just saying this about the U.S. A lot of governments do the same thing. But do you know why? in conflict and war, Afghanistan, just as an example, do you know why that the military didn't use CS gas when fighting the enemy? A lot of people do know this. For those that don't, CS gas is banned by the Geneva Convention Rules of War. Yeah. You can't use it in warfare against an enemy, but they readily use it against their own citizens. So I just want you to think about that. I want you to understand that they're not beyond using even weapons that are banned in war on you. How do you go against battle with something like that? How do you go against battle with something that can sit a half a mile away from your camp and see you in the black of night and not even be in any kind of remote level of fear? Why? Because there's not even a human there where that unit is. Because that's a big factor, you know. You take every element of that fear factor, or that, you know, what of the unknown factor out of it, and you become an unbelievable fighter. Just thought I'd add that. Couple that up with the other model that's got the drone attached to it, which I'm sure has the same FLIR capability. Man, your AR-15 and your armor plates aren't going to help you much. I'm just saying. The only thing that I can honestly think that would help you would be some way to jam the communications between the remote units and their controllers. Doesn't take this, it takes this. I'm just saying. Spark gap generator. Google. Oh, sorry. I had a weird grouping of words there. But go ahead and Google it anyway. I mean, this is nothing compared to what they have already. I just think a lot of individuals, and I'm like the Debbie Downer of prepping, I guess, right? Because you get all these prepping channels, they want to make it look glamorous, they want to make it look sexy, they want to, and it's anything but. The last thing as human beings that we want to go through is what we are facing right now. There is nothing sexy or glamorous about that. And I think that's part of what frustrates me with some of these channels that get out there. It's not just the misinformation, but it's also the attitude. It's almost like they're trying to sell you a good time. And in a sense they are, but, you know, it's so they can make money. Not so they can educate you. You don't hear them talking about this stuff. Oh no. I've seen a number of prepper channels coming out lately with videos about their guns and whatnot. And I'm not discounting that. You need that stuff. You need that stuff. But, a lot of them kind of have this attitude that you're also going to be able to use them to be able to defend your freedoms. Man, it's not going to be like Afghanistan. Right? You have to understand that. It's not going to be like that. I hate to say this, but they're not going to be as nice with us. I don't know of any other way to put it. And they've got every little bit of information on us that you could imagine. They didn't have that luxury of the rebel groups over in Afghanistan. They didn't. Sure, they had surveillance. Sure, they monitored stuff. But they didn't know everything. Why? Well, probably because, all of those terrorists and rebel groups probably weren't all on Facebook telling their life stories. I'm just saying.